Imagine you ask a prime minister a direct question about whether your taxes are going up, and he will not give you a straight answer. That is exactly what happened when Beth Rigby on Sky News pressed Keir Starmer on the coming budget. Watch what he says, or more importantly, what he refuses to say. Then we are going to examine the 3 interlinked principles no government leader can survive without: trustworthiness, truthfulness, and integrity. Before we get into the details, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel reach a wider audience.
It is important that politicians stick to their word. They have to make decisions against a difficult backdrop. And we've obviously got big decisions to make in the budget that's coming in just a few days' time.
So I've got your manifesto here. Will you keep your word not to increase taxes on working people? It's on page 21 in this document.
Well, we made that commitment, and obviously we'll lay out our plans at the budget, which is just a few days away now, so you'll be able to see exactly what decisions we've made. Now, obviously, we make those decisions against a very difficult backdrop. We had the 2008 crash, where people haven't felt much better off since then. We then had austerity for a number of years, which destroyed our public services. Then had a botched Brexit deal, which damaged our economy, and then then COVID and the conflict in Ukraine. But we will make. It's very important that we take the right decisions for our country. I'm optimistic about the future of this country. I absolutely believe that this can be much better on living standards, on our public services, and on how people feel.
You told me a year ago, days before the 2024 budget in Chogham, you said we made an absolute commitment that income tax wouldn't go up, national insurance wouldn't go up, their VAT, as in working people, wouldn't go up. I said that in the campaign. We're going to keep those promises. Will you make that commitment again today?
Well, Beth, we're going to set this out in just a few days.
You won't, will you?
Well,
you said that just a few days before the last budget.
You know
you did make the commitment before the last budget.
You know that the decisions will be made and set out in full in just a few days' time.
You're not going to.
You'll be able to.
Will you make the commitment again now? You won't, will you?
You will be able to hold me to account, Beth, when those principles are set, when those decisions are set out. But
you won't rule out tax rises on working people.
The principles will be fairness. And the 3 things that I'm bearing down above all else is protecting our public services, the NHS, cutting our debt, which is vitally important, and dealing with the cost of living crisis. Because for most people watching this, the cost of living will be their number 1 issue, and that's why it needs to be the number 1 priority of the government.
Cost of living. You won't rule out tax rises. You won't repeat your commitment not to raise taxes on working people. Freezing tax thresholds beyond 2028.
All I've said is we will set out our plans
It's going to hurt
Wednesday.
Working people, isn't it? Freezing tax thresholds.
Well, we're going to set out our plans on Wednesday. You will see them set out in full, and then you'll absolutely be rightly holding me to account for the decisions that we've made.
Your Chancellor said in last year's budget, freezing the thresholds will hurt working people. She's right, isn't she? I'm not asking you about the budget, I'm just asking you if it would hurt working people.
We are going to set out our decisions. We will have absolutely in mind that the cost of living is the number 1 issue for people across the country. And then we will make they'll be fully set out.
During the election, you promised not to raise taxes on working people. You put it in your manifesto.
We did.
Before the budget last year in Chogham, I asked you this. You recommitted to that. I just want to say on record now, you are not recommitting to that today, are you?
Well, it's only a matter of days now to the budget. We will set out our plans in that budget. I've set out what the principles are, and I can tell you, politics for me is about who do you have in your mind's eye.
It's working people, and you're going to put their taxes up.
I have in my mind's eye people who are struggling with cost of living, who can't necessarily make ends meet. And that's political. It's also personal. When I was growing up, we couldn't always make ends meet. We couldn't always pay our bills. I know what it feels like to be in your kitchen around the table wondering which bills you're not going to be able to pay this month. And so having who you have in your mind's eye is really important. That's what I've got in my mind's eye as we go into this budget.
PM, you promised to end the chaos when you were elected, but since the summer we've had winter fuel U-turn, welfare U-turn, Rayner's resignation, Mandelson's sacking, Andy Burnham's leadership drama, the Wes Street in number 10 showdown, pitch rolling in income tax rises only to U-turn. You haven't ended chaos, you are the chaos.
Look, every minute that we're not talking about the cost of living is a wasted minute.
But this is chaos.
But at the same time, we have delivered free childcare for children between 9 months and 4 years. That's a game changer for children when they're in their education and for parents.
Do you acknowledge
only yesterday we were rolling out the extension of free breakfast clubs. We're freezing prescription charges. We're maintaining the cap on bus fares.
So none of the stuff that I've just mentioned, that you're just going to gloss over that and not acknowledge that this is chaotic?
No, I'm not. But I'm really conscious of the fact that what the majority of people want to know is if my number one issue is paying the bills and making sure I can make ends meet.
Trustworthiness, truthfulness, and integrity are not optional. They are three interlinked principles no leader can survive without. When a leader refuses to say clearly what he will do on something as fundamental as taxation, all three principles are violated at once. People are smart enough to figure out when you're not telling the truth or when you keep evading questions to cover mistakes or misdeeds. You cannot promise everything, deliver nothing, and then blame everyone else. It does not work. Politicians must stick to their word if they want to be trusted. When you get something wrong, say so plainly. People will respect that. But when you keep blaming everything and everyone else for your own failures, trust is lost. You have to be clear about what you're doing. If you're not, people will find it impossible to trust you. Never underestimate the people. Always speak to them as if they already know exactly what you're doing, because they do. They know when you're doing right and when you're doing wrong. They know when you are being truthful and when you're lying. Truth, trustworthiness, and integrity are bound together. If you make a promise you do not genuinely intend to keep or that you already know you cannot keep, you are neither truthful nor trustworthy. You have broken integrity at the root. When evaluating any politician, ask yourself one simple question. Has this person shown me through their words and their record that they possess trustworthiness, truthfulness, and integrity? If the honest answer is no, then withhold your trust and your vote from them until they earn it. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.